The gentleman from California is recognized.
Thank you, and I would inquire if the ranking member's yielding back is so that I can close. Thank you. Then I will close. Mr. Speaker, the Federal Registry Modernization Act does exactly what the title suggests. It modernizes the Federal Registration Act. When you look at a well-intended bill that hasn't been addressed since the 1930s, it comes to mind how easy it is to ask something to go on and to have a federal bureaucracy actually do a good job. The National Archives and many of the institutions here in Washington do work, but from time to time you ask the question, at what cost? The Modernization Act seeks to do two things. One, simply lower cost for printing that is no longer necessary in a digital age. And in fact, to open the door for what I believe is the modernization that goes beyond that. Since 1994, when the Office of the Federal Register first published its electronic edition of the Federal Records, the Federal Registry, we have in fact had an opening for our government to go digital beyond just any minor amount. Today, many people ask a question, and I'm going to ask the question here today. If the IRS has 50 years worth of your tax returns, why wouldn't we capture the workings of government digitally, hold them, and at the appropriate time make them available for our children and our grandchildren for whatever purpose they may help in studying the history of what we do here today? This small modernization is about cost savings, but it is also a recognition that in this day and age we can capture everything digitally, we can store vast amounts of it, and we make it searchable and valuable to the next generation. So for that reason, a small recognition that it's time to get off paper, save money, and have the Federal Registry accessible online to offices, homes, and public libraries, but not simply print paper because in the 1930s that's what we said to do. So I believe when we look at the last decade in which the annual page count exceeded 75,000 pages, we recognize that those pages were made possible by the same computers, the same automation that allow us to no longer print paper. I ask the conference and the Congress to vote for H.R. 4195 to remove these outdated statutory requirements, urge passage, and yield back.